Blog Talk Radio.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Reality, spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man. Reality, spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Reality, spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Reality, spirituality. Oh, now we get real. Get real. Reality, spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get down. Reality, spirituality. Yeah, you gonna feel good now. Get real good.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. I'm your host, Rebecca Lynn Norrington, and I am so grateful that you have decided to spend your time with me today. What a week! Oh, my gosh. It's so interesting because every day is different, but this week is especially interesting because of the Valentine's Day holiday, which I don't know about you, but the majority of my life, when I found out that it was supposed to be important, Valentine's Day has given me, or has not given me, but I have had expectations of how it's supposed to be, of how I'm supposed to feel, if I'm in a relationship, what you're supposed to do. Oh, my God, expectations for the majority of my life with this freaking Valentine's Day. And years ago when I really committed to prioritizing happiness, I had to reevaluate and change my perspective about Valentine's Day. I mean, I have to admit, I got caught up in the hype of if I'm in a relationship, then they have to do X, Y, and Z, or else I'd be miserable. Miserable. In other words, preconceived expectations of what the day and how the day was supposed to unfold. I don't know about you, but me being a girl, it's brutal. It was brutal. And the poor guys, they're trying to do the best they can. But this week is so important because I have to say, and it didn't happen last year, because I remember how I felt last year, but this year, for the first time in my life, I was willing and I was open to not celebrating Valentine's Day. In other words, not celebrating the way it is traditionally celebrated. This year, for the first time in my life, I focused on me being the Valentine. I focused on, you know what, Rebecca? Let's start loving you. Let's start accepting who you are. Let's start enjoying the day, and you're the center of attention. In other words, I'm the only person I'm the only person that is important on Valentine's Day. In other words, nobody else has to do anything for me. No one else has to take me to lunch. No one else has to bring me flowers. No one else has to call me and say, I love you. This day, yesterday, 2014, is the first time in my life, I might get a little emotional about it, first time in my life that Valentine's Day was devoted to self-love, self-acceptance. And let me say this. When I switched it up, or the universe switched it up, I'm the only one in the equation. You know, this show, Reality Spirituality, is all about being the only one in the equation, the only one in your formula for happiness. And on Valentine's Day, I was responsible for making myself happy. I was responsible for being okay with me. Nobody had to call me. No one had to send me flowers, and I didn't get any flowers. No one had to do anything for me. I did it. I felt it all. So this is a big deal for me, because I grew up in this fairy tale, Cinderella, live happily ever after with Prince Charming. In other words, I couldn't feel, I say in other words a lot, don't I? I couldn't feel happy without Prince Charming. I couldn't be happy without Prince Charming. And no, it's over. It's over, Johnny. This happiness, this internal contentment, peace, knowing, being, feeling is all within me. It's all my power. No one else needs to do, say, be, think, behave in any way. I have all of the power to make myself feel good or not. I don't know about you, audience, but that is really, really important. I know I went off on a tangent for a second because I was really excited about shifting it. Now I'm going to have to be challenged because not only Valentine's Day, this applies to all of the holidays, including my own birthday. What if no one calls me on my birthday, which is going to be impossible? They better call me. No. What if no one calls me? What if no one acknowledges my birthday? What if no one, that's what I'm saying. Our happiness, your happiness, my happiness is my own responsibility, your responsibility. Why the hell am I giving my happiness away to somebody else? Does that even make sense? I say no. I say hell no. Let's get back to the show. Reality Spirituality. What is the show about? It's about taking on responsibility for your happiness. And not only that, it's about realizing, discovering the laws of the universe and how the laws of the universe actually work for us. The laws of the universe are our foundation. And one of the most common laws of the universe is the law of attraction. Yeah, we've all heard it. Positive thinking, positive, you get positive back. You visualize, and you get what you visualize back. This show goes even deeper. The law of attraction, basically down to the least common denominator, is you attract the same type of energy that you emit. So in other words, if you are unhappy, if you're sad, if you're judgmental, if you fill in the blank, you will attract, if you're irritated, you will attract the same type energy. We are all energy. And just think of it as being a magnet to like energy. So that's why it's so important to choose and be conscious and be aware, self-aware of what kind of energy you are emitting. that's why it's so important to take a few breaths and really understand that whatever you put out, there's a saying in the Bible, what is it? Oh, you reap what you sow. All that means is you get what you give. You're angry, you're going to have more reasons to be angry about. You're sad, you're going to attract more reasons to be sad about. And that's what's so great about our life. I don't have any control. Believe me, I have zero control over what happens to me in this lifetime. Absolutely none. I used to think I did. Oh, I could control it. I have no control. I've given up. I've surrendered. I have no control over what happens to me. But what I do have control over is how I respond to what happens to me, how I respond to what doesn't happen to me, how I perceive what is happening to me, how I feel about what's happening. All of the above, I have control over. And see, that's good news. That's good news because I can do that. Well, we got to practice, but I can do that. I can think about a situation that used to anger me or bother me or shift me into a negative, moody mood. But changing my perspective about the same thing that's happened. In other words, switching up how am I looking at it? Am I focusing on what's wrong? Am I focusing on what's bad? Am I focusing on what's negative? Am I focusing on what I think it should be? Or am I focusing on something else, something that is going to allow me to feel better about the same situation? Okay, so let me give you something really, really, let me give you something that happened 2 days ago. This reality spirituality is kicking my ass. If you're a fan of the show, if you've listened to the show, you know that I've had all of this up and down relationship with my mother, and quite frankly, back and forth, getting disinherited, conversations, and this woman is just biggest heart, very generous, wouldn't hurt a fly, doesn't have a manipulative bone in her body, doesn't even know how to have game. I mean, come on, who doesn't know how to have game? But anyway, she shared with me a couple of days ago that she is having kidney failure. Now, my mother has gone through so many physical challenges. Mostly 1990, she had an aneurysm in her brain the size of a golf ball. And it took months to diagnose it. She was having these excruciating headaches. And maybe you went to the eye doctor. Finally she went to an MRI. Finally she got an MRI. And she was diagnosed with a brain aneurysm. I don't know, but if you know about aneurysms, they can burst in a second. So in 1990, when my mother and father first moved to Las Vegas, they were retired and moved to Las Vegas, she was diagnosed 2 months later with a brain aneurysm. And they had to do immediate surgery. And they actually had surgeons flying from different parts of the country because of the severity of this aneurysm. And the surgery itself was 10 hours long. And I'll never forget, the morning before, the day before, her doctor came in and say, listen, Mrs. Norrington, you might die on the table. You could have a stroke. You could come out of this operation paralyzed. On and on with all of the horrible things. And I was standing there when this doctor was explaining this to her, and I was actually, this was 1990. How many years ago was that? You do the math. 14 years ago? And I was getting pissed off that this doctor was telling my mother the night before surgery all these bad things that could happen. And she looked at the doctor, and I'll never forget, she looked at the doctor, and I thought she was crazy. She says, well, okay, but I plan on growing a vegetable garden next month, and I plan on, and she was talking about what she was going to do. This woman is the example of a positive, only looking at the good. And I used to think that it was a fault. I used to think that her reality, don't you understand what's really going on? And of course, after 10 hours of surgery, they had to cut her because the aneurysm was right at her temple in her head. And so they had to cut off the blood flow, and they had to make an incision right across her forehead, like a Frankenstein incision, and then they had to cut her at her neck. So they had to cut off the flow of blood from her forehead to her neck, and I mean, when I saw her after surgery, I said Frankenstein. It was even. I looked at her and I could not see her surviving the way she looked. The stitches across her forehead going all the way down her ear, all the way down her jaw, all the way down her neck, and then across her neck. Whew. That was number one. And this woman pulled through, and she still remained positive. She still just looked at life like, oh, it's evolving. It's like a fairy tale, the way, I use that word again, but the way she viewed her situation. And it taught me a really good lesson. Since then, she's had broken ankles, she's had pacemaker, she's had all different types of physical ailments. And now, 2 days ago, kidney failure. And I talk to my mother every single day. Even when I'm disinherited, I talk to my mother every single day. And you would never, ever know that she was diagnosed with kidney failure. Never. She is as cheery and as optimistic, fun, funny, goofy, crazy. This woman has taught me so much about how to view, quote unquote, health issues, severe health issues. Now, what am I going to do about it? In other words, what is my plan of action? Well, I've already sent out emails to all of the herbalists, nutritionalists, natural healers, on and on and on in Las Vegas. You name it, they've gotten an email from me, and I'm going to be contacting all of them. But the lesson is even deeper than that. The lesson is, can you still be connected? Can you still live connected? Can you still feel good? Can you still be happy with a diagnosis of kidney failure? And she's 85 years old, and admittedly in her last stages. Is it possible? The answer is yes. It is possible. But it's a choice. See, we all have the choice. We all have the ability. We all have the power to choose how we are going to feel. We all have a choice. I don't care what's happening, because this is the key. Since we don't have control over what happens, and it is our job to choose our perspective, to choose how we want to feel, to choose our vibration, to choose to choose our response, to choose our behavior, to choose our words, to choose our disposition. I don't know about you, but I'd rather feel good than feel bad. And I'm not saying it's easy, but I'd rather feel good than feel bad. And it's that simple. I want to share with you, as I wrote out characteristics of happy people. When I say happy, of course, it's this internal happiness. Happiness is not based on what happens to us. Happiness is this peace and this contentment that is there regardless of what happens to us. And I wrote out a few characteristics of happy people, and I'd like to share them with you right now. How's that for drama? Happy people don't complain. And before I go with my list, I want to say that just for happy people don't complain. If you're complaining, then you can't be happy. In other words, everything that I'm going to share with you, it's either A or B. It's black or white. You can't complain and be happy. It's impossible. You can't feel bad and be happy. It's impossible. So that's what I wanted to say before I go with my list. Happy people don't complain. Happy people don't expect anything from anyone. Now, this is really interesting because we talked about expectations and how expectations, all expectations, not just some, not just a few, maybe there's an exception. No. There are no exceptions. All expectations. Every time you expect something to happen or you expect someone to do or say something to you or not, or behave in a way, and they don't, all expectations subtract from happiness. So happy people don't have expectations. Happy people don't compare themselves to other people. There is never a reason to compare yourself with anyone else. I mean, let's get a little deeper with this. Comparing. I don't know, but every time I compare, or every time I did compare myself with anyone else, I was miserable. Because, listen, I'm not comparing myself to someone I perceive, and I say perceive, I perceive to have less than me, or perceive to be in a lower position than me. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about whatever. I'm not even going to say it. But I always compared myself to people that had more than me. When I say more, I mean more everything. Let me just throw it out. Oprah. Comparing myself to Oprah, meaning why her TV show, her money, her influence. Why can't I? Why don't I? Every time I did, I was miserable. So happy people don't compare themselves to anyone. Happy people don't try to control anything. Happy people give up control. Happy people surrender it all to the universe. Happy people sit in the back seat and let the universe drive. Whenever I tried to control what was going on, another person in my life, control circumstances, guess what? I was miserable. You cannot be happy and try to control anything at the same time. It is impossible. Trust me, I've done the homework. Happy people don't speak negatively about anyone else. Happy people don't find fault in anyone. I don't care what they're doing or what they're not doing. Happy people do not find fault with others, and here's the kicker, or with themselves. You cannot be happy and find fault. You cannot be happy and look at someone else or look in the mirror and find something wrong. I mean, do you get that? And let me stop for a second, because this list could go on forever. But everyone that listens to the show knows that when I was younger, I wanted two things: to live to my potential and to be happy. And I am telling you, there is one thing that I am serious about. There is one thing that I prioritize, and that is being happy. And with that, wanting to be happy, I've had to make a commitment that is number one. Mother's diagnosed with kidney failure. My priority is to be happy about that diagnosis. Does that mean that I am not going to do everything I can to assist her with that? No. But I'm not going to sit up here and moan and groan and be miserable about something that I, quote, have no control over. Because am I doing her any good? If I have the energy of woe is me and oh, this is horrible, is that even helping my mother? No. I can't help anyone else with bad, negative, miserable, moody, irritated, angry energy, sad energy. I'm not bringing anything to the table with sad energy. I'm not helping anything. Jesus, I don't even know why I'm just so passionate about it, about sharing this, how important being happy is, including, you know, I've always wanted to uplift the world, leave the world better than it was when I came. Yeah, be an influence. I can only uplift the world. I can only be an influence. I can only add to the world if I'm happy. I ain't adding shit to this world if I'm miserable, if I'm sad, if I'm angry, if I'm comparing, if I'm blaming, if I'm not, what am I adding? Nothing. And I'm actually subtracting. Happy people are kind. Happy people, now this is a good one. Happy people are patient. Patient? Happy people are patient. Now, see, that's a really interesting one also. Patience has never been one of my strong points. Ever. But I'm talking about in the past. But I've realized that patience is the same. In other words, the universe, the way the universe is unfolded, if you have to be patient. You're talking about waiting for billions and billions of years for this earth to form. You have to be patient. And it's like, one of the things I like to say is, you plant an award-winning rose bush. Now, you don't stand over the rose bush and you're impatient for the rose bush to bloom and the rose bush to grow and give you your award-winning roses. When a baby is born, you don't stand over the baby and start being impatient. When the hell are you going to start walking? When the hell are you going to start talking? When the hell are you going to start learning to feed yourself, dress yourself, go to the bathroom by yourself? When is that going to happen? Patience is who we are. We were born patient. Patience, being patient is our nature. I had to learn to be impatient. I wasn't born impatient. I mean, unless I'm hungry, like, hey, where's my bottle? But I wasn't born impatient. So happy people are patient. Happy people don't make judgments. What does that mean? Judging a situation, putting a judgment, putting a label. I don't care, label good or bad. You can't label bad and you can't label good. It just is. Labels are all man-made. Happy people don't use labels. Why? Because labels subtract from happiness. Even if you use a label as, oh, this is a good thing that's happening. Well, guess what? If you're saying something's good, then that means you can also say something is bad. And let me get even deeper with that. If you say, oh, this is a good situation that's happening, this is good. Really? Let me tell you what is good. What the hell am I saying? In other words, let me tell you, let me share with you what I've discovered about this good, bad. Everything that happens to me, everything, including my mother's diagnosis, including my ups and my downs, another label, ups and downs, everything is unfolding in exact order. Everything is unfolding the way it is supposed to unfold. It just is. It's all good. Everything is good. That's how happy people think. Happy people don't blame others for their unhappiness. This is a big one. This is something that, believe me, most of my life was spent pointing fingers at everybody else and what they weren't doing to make me happy, or what they weren't doing to add to my happiness. And I'm here to tell you, left hand up in the air, my happiness was nobody else's responsibility but my own. No one has the ability, no one has the power to make me happy. It's impossible. I used to think, and that's another thing, I used to think I was taught that it was someone else's responsibility. Oh, it's my husband's responsibility. Oh, it's my child's responsibility. Oh, it's my job. Oh, it's where I live. Oh, it's my bank account. Oh, all of that is responsible for my happiness. No, it's not. Happy people live in the moment. What? In other words, happy people don't dwell or think about, or honestly, yesterday, what happens yesterday, if you know me and you're having a conversation, would you ask me, somebody asked me a couple of weeks ago what happened, oh, did you enjoy the Super Bowl? And it was 2 weeks after the Super Bowl. And I had to really put my hand on my forehead and think about, did I enjoy the Super Bowl? I had to think about what happened yesterday. Because what happened yesterday is no longer relevant in this moment. And the only time that I allow myself to go back into yesterday is when it's a moment that made me smile, or when it's a moment that made me feel connected, or feel part of the universe. I can think of having the conversation with my mother a couple of days ago, and just being connected to her, and just sending her energy of everything's going to be fine, everything's going to be okay. You're going through this situation with me. You're not going to be alone. I got you, Mom. We'll get through this together. That, I could go back and think about that. But thinking about something that is not going to make me feel connected, why the hell would I even do that? Happy people live in the moment. And not only the past, what am I thinking? Why am I thinking about tomorrow and what could happen and what should happen and what I want to happen? That doesn't even make sense. In fact, it's a little bit on the kooky side. I was, again, taught to think about the future, taught to don't forget the past. The past will repeat itself if you forget. Jesus. The future? Look at the animal kingdom. All animals are in the moment. There is not one single creature on this planet that is thinking about what happened yesterday, or is thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow when it gets eaten by the alligator. Who knows? So happy people live in the moment. Happy people don't try to change anyone else. And I got my hand up. I'm guilty of this. I sometimes, if I'm not on air, if I'm not doing a show, Reality Spirituality, I could throw in a little, if you look at it a different way, which is really my way of trying to change someone else and trying to show them that, there's another way to look at it. But but honestly, the universe doesn't try to change anyone. The universe accepts everyone and everything with open arms. And if you know me and you know the show, that is my number one purpose, my number one destiny, my number one goal is to be the example of the universe, being a living physical example of the universe. So, I check myself from time to time, throwing a little bit of, maybe think about it this way. But I have to say, my intentions are good, but that is my ego trying to change someone and trying to adjust, not adjust, but trying to look at it this way. Unless I am with a client, or unless I'm on this radio show, or unless I'm on a television show, my opinions are silent. That's my goal. I don't need to change. I don't want to change. I want you to discover. I want you to be on your journey and live your journey exactly the way you're living it. Now, if you have a question, if you want to ask, okay, but Rebecca, how can I be happier in this moment? Now, I can help you with that. But if you're not coming to me with a question, why am I butting into your life? Why am I trying to suggest? Why am I trying to change? So happy people don't try to change anyone else. And we're going to go right to our phone calls, but because we do have a person that wants to come live on air, and you are live on Reality Spirituality. Welcome, area code 973. What is your first name?
Hi, my name is Tina. How are you?
What is your name? Hi, Christine? Hello?
Tina? Yes,
oh, Tina. Hi, Tina. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. What's going on?
Good morning. I just want to say thank you so much for having your show. I would like to know, what do you get from Lewis, our relationship with Lewis? Where are we going?
Ooh, a relationship question. I love relationship questions. You know why?
Why?
Because relationship questions really are really asking about what's going on in your life, my dear Tina.
Oh, okay.
It's really about you, and it's never about anyone else.
Wow.
Yeah. And so my question to you is, what do you see going on in the relationship with you and Lewis?
Well,
and I want you to, nobody's listening except for 1 million people around the world. No one's listening, but I want you to be really, really honest and tell me the truth about what you think is going on with your relationship with Lewis. Go.
I'm really just ready for marriage. So that's basically the question. I'm ready for marriage because we've been dating for quite some time. So I just want to
No, tell me what's quite some time. What's quite some time?
So quite some time. We've been dating for quite some time. So
no, come on now. This is Reality Spirituality. You have to be honest. What is it? 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? What is it, honey? What is it? Come on.
A long time. I'm just going to say a long time. So
okay. Let me say this. Let me say this. And I'm saying this with so much love. Let me say this. You ready?
Yes.
If you have, if you're not able to be really honest and look in the mirror, okay, we have been dating for 10 years. We have been dating for 15 years. Whatever the number is, when you cannot be honest and say it out loud, that means there's something that you don't want to look at. Right?
No, I just thought that you did. I just thought you did readings. So I thought that.
Oh, okay. I can do a reading for you.
Yeah, because I can read too. So that's not it at all. And I'm a teacher and a minister, so that's actually not it at all.
Okay.
I just wanted to see what was received from Spirit. So just being humble. That's all. I mean, we could go to another level.
Let me give you a reading.
Just being humble.
Let me give you a reading, my dear sweetheart, my dear person. I love you so much. Let me give you a reading. You ready?
Yes.
Everything that is happening right now is going to continue to happen.
Okay.
Nothing's going to change.
Oh, okay.
Yep. The only thing that's going to change if you decide to change is you.
Ooh.
If you change, then the situation will change. But the way it is right now, nothing is going to change.
Oh. Okay.
Do you feel that?
I understand because I know that your mate is your mirror. I understand that 100%.
Okay, so are you okay with things not changing?
No, it's okay. I'll pray on that. I just wanted to think we had a really good day yesterday. I just was thinking about asking about marriage. That's all.
Okay, honey. Well, listen, call back with that and let me know what's going on, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Whew, that was interesting, wasn't it? Okay, we have someone else that wants to say something on Reality Spirituality. You are live on Reality Spirituality. What's your first name?
Hi, Diane.
Hi, Diane. Welcome to Reality Spirituality.
I love you. I love the way you talk to people. I love the way you teach. I get ecstatic when you're on and I hear you live, Rebecca. Everything, really, because it is all about self. You just get done speaking how beautiful we go within, and it's our attitude. And then you get someone that has, I don't want to make a judgment call, but doesn't respect your initial request to help going within and answering your own questions. And I just love you. I think you're so good. And you don't make judgment. You just give them what they ask for.
Oh, well, guess what? You love me. I love you.
I know. Thank you, darling. Thank you. And, you teach me so much, and I really believe everything you say. Just let me question something. You know how you say we have no control over anything?
Yes.
We if someone is beating us up, we have the control to walk away and leave it, so we can totally not take responsibility for being in a position or a situation that's harmful, that doesn't feel good. Right?
Right. Well, you're absolutely right about that, but you're right about that, but you did not have control over them initially beating you up, did you?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, you don't have control over or being in a relationship where they beat. You didn't know. Listen, if you knew somebody was going to start beating you up, hopefully you're not going to stay there. But actually, there's some people that do, and it's only because of what they've experienced and their limit, their perspective, and usually it's because they've seen it in their own home and they've experienced it with parents or whatever, or their parents' relationship. But you really don't have control over somebody initially hitting you or beating you up. But you definitely have control over, like I said, number one, your response, which is, like you said, is to leave.
Right, without making a judgment. Right, no judgment. You just change the situation. Exactly.
That's right, no judgment. And let me tell you, that's so difficult because, listen, I was here come the judge, judgment, number one, judge, here come the judge person. Used to be, I should say.
Oh, well said. Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard because I was taught to judge. I mean, we're all taught to judge. But when you're 2 years old and you're 3 years old, you don't even know how to judge, right?
Right. You don't. Right. Other than you said when you're hungry, you react if you're not being fed.
Yeah. So first of all, let me say thank you for. One of the reasons why I do this radio show is to connect with people just like you and to connect with people just like our last caller, because even though people, whether they get it or they don't get it, the seed has been planted. And whatever time, they might not get it in this lifetime, and it's okay. They might get it in who knows, but the seed has been planted, and that's all I want to do is plant seeds. And I really appreciate what you said, and thank you. You are the reason why I do the show. You are the reason why I do the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I can't get enough of it. In fact, I've learned there's several different individuals on Blog Talk that I've really grown with and learned from. And it's interesting how you hear the same callers calling hour in and hour out, asking the identical questions. And I don't understand what they're looking for, because the answers are within. And that's really the way it works. So, and I don't want to make a judgment. I can't, so I'm going to change it. But I'm so happy with who I am and my growth, and we're all in different positions. I look at Earth School, so some of us are a little higher advanced. We've been here maybe longer.
Yeah.
So doesn't that make sense? You've said that before.
Yeah. I like the Earth School. I like that. Some of us are in different grades. Some of us are still in diapers. Some of us are, advanced degrees, but it's all good. It all has to be good. And let me tell you something. I used to, the people that were in a lower degree than me, come on, people, catch up with me, catch up. But no, that wasn't a good, for me, that wasn't a good way, because I was always frustrated. With everybody, and why couldn't they get it? But like you said, it's not about judging. So let me see what's going on with you. Can we talk about what's going on with you? Is there anything that or are you just up there with me, honey? What's going on?
You're so cute. Let me ask you. No, I'm always learning and questioning.
Okay.
What about, Rebecca, what about free will? Okay, do you believe we have free will? So if we came to evolve, or we came to learn, and we go on that path, and we just decide to change by not taking that left turn, do you believe then we come back to do it again? Is there anything?
I definitely. What?
Do you even believe we're here to evolve, or do you just believe we're here to experience the moments?
I believe that we're here. I believe that we're here to do both. I believe that we're here to experience the moment, and I also believe that we're here to evolve. We're all energy. We're all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed, or energy cannot be created or destroyed. So we've been here before, in whatever kind of entity. I have no idea. I'm not an expert on past lives, but I know that we're all energy, and so that means that we never die. Our energy never dies, and so we visit this, this physical plane for a little bit, and then we go and do something else, and then we decide to come back to the physical plane, because I definitely believe that I chose to be here at this particular time as whatever energy I am. I definitely chose that. And so, I chose to be here, and I chose to be here at this specific time. And I've been here thousands, millions of times before. I don't know as what or who, but does that answer your question?
Okay, so then what about your mom? Do you think you came here to deal with these issues with your mom?
Yes. Yes.
So maybe that's the lessons our family, because I have an issue with my sister, and I finally released it. I find what I did, I spoke honestly, which was really wrong. I should have just been nice about it. So because of it, at least years ago, it was a very remote, the relationship was not like sisters. And she would always, pull me into the group and then treat me give me a crumb on purpose. So the healthiest thing for me was to bail. And I feel so much healthier that I walked away. But yet a gentleman who I spent many years with, dating on and off, said to me it was the wrong thing to do. And I thought, why would he tell me what's right or wrong? Because I feel healthier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Well, let me say this. Yeah, what a great question. I'm gonna even take it even deeper. This is really, really, really deep.
Good.
first of all, you never made a mistake. You said you spoke honestly, and maybe you shouldn't have spoken honestly. There are never any mistakes in the universe. Everything that you said was supposed to be said. Number two, nobody does, regardless of man in your life, mother, whoever it is, no one can live in your shoes. No one is in your skin. No one knows what you should do with anyone else. I used to look at someone and say, well, you could have done or you should have done. No. So that whole anyone telling me or you, my dear, that you should have, they have no clue. They're not in your shoes. They're not in your skin. There is no all-knowing unless they're you. So you said it. You said it. It makes me feel good, and it makes me feel, and I feel healthier. That's the key. Let me take it even deeper. I've had a really back and forth relationship with my mother, and because let me be very honest. I mean, it's in my new book that's coming out in March. But I was adopted, and my father, my mother couldn't have any children, and my father, I was his favorite. He doted on me to the point where my mother was a little jealous, and she, for all good reasons, and she doted on my brother, who was also adopted. So, they chose which ones they liked the best. So my mother, we've always had this back and forth, and sometimes she's nice, and sometimes she's not nice, and sometimes she's nice, and sometimes she's not nice. But the bottom line is this: however she is, and however your sister is, this is my job, and it's so freaking hard. Well, it's one of my challenges. To love her and to accept her. Can you even imagine loving your sister and accepting your sister regardless of what she does and regardless of what she doesn't do to you?
It's funny because I always send love to her, but I can't. But I choose not to want to be around her. Is that because I'm running away from it?
No. It's because, see, this is the thing. We're always evolving, and at this stage in your life, that choice is the perfect choice for you. But we don't know what's going to happen in 5 years, and we don't know what's going to happen in 10 years. And I'm just saying that you could change your mind, or you could feel better, or you could feel better about feel better about being around her. So always leave everything open. Just because you feel like this right now doesn't mean that it means, number one, it means that that's the perfect way to feel. It's the perfect way to feel right now. But always know that it could change. But that's all up to you. And you'll know it when you get that when you get that feeling or that inspiration or that intuition, like, you know what? I might switch it up, or let's see, who knows? And it may not ever happen, but always leave it open. In other words, never close the door on anything.
Rebecca, I agree with you, but my brother, who is trying to be the interpreter, and we all live minutes away, within 7 minutes of each other.
Okay.
My sisters and brother are both married, long marriages, and I'm divorced, which is great, but my brother was trying to persuade me to connect with her. And I said, you don't understand. And he said, well, then, you want to cut her off forever, so that's it, for never. You're never going to talk to her again. I said, how could you do that to me? I'm only talking about right now. I don't know what's going to happen forever. I said, you act like I'm the same person I was 10 years ago. I don't get you. So then my brother tries to get into the mix to win, because my sister always wins. She's a very prestigious person like her mother, very affluent and very connected. So, he thinks that I'm giving up a lot of perks. I said, I'm not giving up anything. And I don't know when. And if she feels that she's going to cut me off forever, so be it. Then let her. But I'm only talking about now. So it's so funny that you brought that up. Oh, my God, that's so weird that you said that, because that's exactly what it is. It's only for now. And if she wants to turn it off forever, then that's her calling, not mine. And I'll deal with that if that happens.
Right. Well, don't you love people that are in your business? Tell that brother to get the hell out of your business. But no, that's not how to tell him. You don't say, get the hell out of my business. That's not how to tell him. Listen, this is how you combat, and I use the word combat, people that are you look at your brother, and instead of going, because this is one thing I stopped doing, I don't go back and forth. I said, you know what, brother, and I'm just going to throw this out. You know what, brother? You're absolutely right. Let me think about it. In other words, give him softness. Give him so much softness, and just be you know what? You're absolutely. Let me think about that. Can I please think about that? I'm just looking. I'm just trying to do what's best for me, and I hear what you're saying, and let me sleep on it, and I promise I'll give what you say a lot of thought.
Oh, so such a great answer, such a great insight. Love that, Rebecca. Oof,
you see, because when we go back, when people want to be, and the word isn't confrontational, but you have to. All you need to do, all you do is you throw it back, and you just you soften all of your shit. You soften it all up, because people can't fight with love. People can't fight with total acceptance. People can't argue with softness. You can't argue with a Nerf ball.
Oh, I love it. You're so right. It's all, like you said, it's all about love. I mean, we really were created out of love. We all came here the same way. We're, as a human, we all, some kind of love at some time, most of the time. So that's how we're created. That's in us. We are a product of love. I get you so much.
Yeah. So I want you to try when he says that again. Just say, you know what, brother, and just listen. It's called. You know what it's called? Let me just really be honest. It's called winning an Academy Award.
Yeah, I love it. And I'm in LA. I'm surrounded by Hollywood.
You're in LA? I'm in LA.
Oh, I'm in Calabasas.
I'm in Arcadia.
Oh, that's so funny. I mean,
yeah. So all of it, I'm telling you right now, it's called turning it on, but it's universally acting it. So it's not like a manipulation or controlling. It's universally. I mean, can he box with the universe? Can he fight with the universe? No. So be the universe and just,
I agree. I am so happy with my relationship with him. He tried, this was maybe a month ago that he tried to make it work because he was, being the mouthpiece for my sister. And it's funny because the times when I wanted to make it work, she wasn't into it. So then this time she was and I wasn't into it. And it's just what it is, right? Like with your mom. It's just we only have this moment, and if you feel you want to change it today, you'll change it. It's your call, though, right?
That's right. You're absolutely right. And you know what? You have so much intuition, and you can feel the universe working through you, and you can feel when it fits, and you can feel when it doesn't fit. So just follow your intuition. Follow it.
Yeah. I love that. I love you, Rebecca. Thank you for making me feel so empowered today. What a way, really.
Well, thank you, Diane. Thank you so much, and thank you for listening. And we're a little bit over the show, but you have made my day too. Don't think that I've made your day without you making my day. That's how it works with this whole thing. That's how it works with people that are connected, right?
Good. Yeah, exactly. Right, though.
All right, so I am going to close it out, and we're going to have a guest tomorrow. You're welcome to listen. We have James Goy, who has this book about making money and whatever, and we'll see. We're going to give a little tussle about that because that's another one of my things about having money, not having money, and does that influence your happiness? And, of course, we say, you and me together, 1, 2, 3, no!
No, but I think both of us have created a fabulous universe. So
yes, definitely.
I think we walk our talk and we get what we want because we believe it. I do believe that.
Yes,
thank you,
Diane.
God.
Yes.
Forget it.
Okay. Thank you.
Talk to you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. So you're listening to Reality Spirituality, and Reality Spirituality is heard every Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you'd like more information on the coaching programs I offer, please visit my website at RebeccaNorrington.com. That's RebeccaNorrington.com, and go to the Private Sessions tab. If you'd like to receive my free monthly newsletter, send me an email to info@RebeccaNorrington.com. Follow me on Twitter at RL Norrington, and if you've enjoyed the show like I have, go to Facebook and like Reality Spirituality's Facebook page. Whew. Until tomorrow, my dear audience, I want you to remember who the hell you are. You are physical extensions of the universe. You're always evolving. You're always changing. You're always growing. Love is patient. And love is kind. Be patient and be kind to yourself. Be your own best friend. Remember, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. Let's connect again tomorrow. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality. Thank you all. I love you for listening.
Yeah. Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. Spirituality. It's a new experience. Reality, spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one. Reality, spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Reality, spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Reality, spirituality. Oh, now we get real. Get down, yeah, you gonna feel good.